Today we're going to talk about multiplication of decimals. When you multiply decimals, you're going to start out and multiply just as you would without decimals. For example, if I have 3 6/10 and I want to multiply that by 27 3/10, I'm going to multiply it just the same as if it would be 36 times 273. And I'm not going to mess with my decimals until the very end. We're going to do this two different ways. We're going to do the standard algorithm, and then we're also going to do the area model. Both are important for you to know for your test. You have to know both ways. So the first way, again, I'm not messing with decimals until the very, very end. So let's do standard algorithm. I have 273, and I'm going to multiply that by 36. 6 times 3 is 18. 6 times 7 is 42 plus 1 is going to give me 43. 6 times 2 is 12 plus 4 is 16. I put my 0 there because I'm moving into my tens spot. And now what I'm going to do is a 3 times 3, which is 9. 3 times 7, which is 21. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 2 gives me 8. I'm going to add those together. 8 plus 0 is 8. 3 plus 9 is 12. 1 plus 6 is 7 plus 1 is 8. And then 1 plus 8 is 9. Now, this is where my decimals come into play. I need to look at both numbers. Okay? It's very easy to look at one number and say, oh, I have one decimal. No. You want to look at both numbers to see how many places do I need to move over and place my decimal. I start here at the very end of my number, and I swoop, and I have one swoop. I move over here at the end of my number, and I swoop, and I have another swoop. So 1 plus 1 is 2. I have 2 swoops. 1, 2, which means I'm going to swoop 2 places and put my decimal. 1, 2. Here's my decimal. And so my answer is 98 28/100. Okay. Now I'm going to do the same thing, but again, I'm going to do it with an area model. Okay. Again, I'm going to use my numbers without decimal points to help me. So I'm going to start with a 200, a 70, and a 3. And over here, I have my 30 and my 6 because I'm going to pretend that it's 36, not 3 6/10. I'm not using my decimal. I'm going to pretend that this is 273, not 27 3/10. I'm not using my decimal until the very, very end, like I did here. Now, 2 times 3 is 6. And I have 1, 2, 3 zeros. 200 times 30 is 6,000. 2 times 6 is 12, but 200 times 6 is 1,200. I'm adding those 2 zeros. 7 times 3 is 21, but 70 times 30 is going to be 2,100. I add the zeros. 7 times 6 is 42, but it's 70 times 6. I'm adding the 0, getting 420. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 3 is 9, but here's my 30, so 3 times 30 would be 90. And now I'm going to do the same thing I normally do, and I'm going to add all my numbers up. I have my 6,000, my 1,200 over here. There's my 6,000, 1,200, 2,100, 420, 90, and 18. Here's an 8. 2 plus 9 is 11, plus 1 is 12. 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 1 is 4, plus 4 is 8. And then I have 6 plus 1 is 7 plus 2 is 9. And again, I need to count my decimals. 1, 2. I have 2 swoops. 1, 2. 1, 2. Put my decimal there. And again, my answer is 98 and 28 hundredths. We're going to do the same thing. This time we're going to do area model first and then standard algorithm. And we're going to do a different one. And this one is 5 multiplied by 6 and 73 hundredths. I'm going to rewrite it. And it's going to really be 5 times 673. And then I'll place my decimal at the end. So here's my 600, my 70, and my 3. And I'm going to multiply it by 5. 5 times 6 is 30. So 5 times 600, I add those 2 zeros and I get 3,000. 7 times 5 is 35. 70 times 5 is 350. I add that 0. 3 times 5 is 15. So now what I want to do is I'm going to add all of those together. 3,000, 350, 15. I have a 5. 5 and a 1 is a 6. 3 and 3. Now, today what I saw is I saw somebody trying to add decimals. Cannot add decimals. Okay? What I am going to do is there's no decimal here on this 5. But over here I have 1, 2 swoops. So 1, 2. Place my decimal and I get 33 and 65 hundredths. Okay? Now, I'm going to do the same thing, and again, we're going to show you standard method. I take out my decimal and I create my number, which is 673. I'm just taking out my decimal and I multiply it by 5. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 7 is 35 plus 1 is 36. 5 times 6 is 30 plus 3 is 33. And again, I have no decimal here, but I am swooping 1, 2. So I swoop 1, 2, and I place my decimal, and I get 33 and 65 hundredths.